minute and we'll be on to Strange History, Episode 1 in the Anonymous Source series. This song is called Anonymous by Doug Taco Music. Muzak. Again, did you see that? This was a test. See, again, I was muted. But for how long? That's so funny because the music stops. Listen. Do you hear the music now? And it's really funny because I just looked at my online on my phone, and it shows I see comments on my phone, but not on here. Please go to my other channel. Go to Anonymous Source channel and see if you can comment from there. I'm not seeing comments. You can hear me now, though. So anyway, Strange History is a popular thing that I like to do. It's a book that is basically what it says. It's stories that are strange from history. And some of them are extremely strange. Some of them not so much. Some of them are just more odd or whatever, but they're very good. Since I'm starting this over here, it's the first time I'm doing this on Anonymous Source, first of all. And it's also going to be new because my channel got deleted that had all these stories in them. So I'll read the back. I read the back before, but I'll read it again. And for anyone who is watching, just remember, if you ever see that red button, this one, that means I'm muted. So if you see the red button, even if I'm not talking and you see the red button, let me know. For some reason, I'm not seeing any comments. I know comments are coming through because I can watch from my cell phone. It's very odd. Okay, so this is obviously was my first. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm streaming to Rumble for the first time, and I see that maybe the Rumble stream is interfering. The Rumble stream seems to be interfering, but that's okay. All right, so let me read the stories from the back of Strange History. Did you know that Julius Caesar was afraid of cats? Mozart, and I read this one before, very good. Mozart was infatuated with farts. Neanderthals invented the mullet. Columbus saw a UFO from the deck of the Santa Maria. Wasn't he on the Pinta? Nope, he wasn't. A con man nearly convinced New Yorkers to saw off Manhattan. Queen Victoria smoked marijuana to cure her cramps. This one's a good one. The word pants comes from the name of a 16th century clown. So his name was Pants, and that's what became the name of what we wear on our legs. The Mayans played a game like soccer with human heads. And the ancient Roman poet Virgil held a funeral for a housefly. Oscar Wilde said, history is merely gossip. That's true. And this is Strange History. Now I got Cahutek Goes Kaput. That's a story about Germany, I think. Cheddarman and Mr. Target. I think Cheddarman is good. Let's read Cheddarman. Cheddar, England is famous for its cheese, but it's also famous for the limestone caves that line Cheddar Gorge. In 1903, a Stone Age skeleton was discovered in one of the caves. He was called Cheddarman. Of course he would be. Why wouldn't you call him Cheddarman? He was found in Cheddar Grove, just like the China virus came from China. That was a little rumble action. All right. Scientists believed he died 9,000 years ago. I don't believe scientists when they say these numbers. How do you know that he died 9,000 years ago? Could have been 8 or 10. And that's 1,000 years off. And in my world, that's a lot. Anyway, an even more astonishing discovery was made in 1997 when Britain's HTV network produced a documentary about the cave. Well, the filmmakers obtained a DNA sample from Cheddarman's bones. Don't you think they should have left Cheddarman alone? Yeah, I think so. But who knows? Let's see what happened here. And wanted to compare it to the DNA samples taken from Cheddar local school children, which is actually that is a good idea. To prove to the kids that it was safe, their history teacher, Adrian Target, with a double T, Target, had his DNA swabbed as well. I guess children were scared of a DNA swab in their mouth for some reason. It's not like the media, the media doesn't scare people about anything. There's no fear-mongering there. So Adrian had it done as well. When all the tests were completed, only one person tested was found to be related to the Cheddar Man that's believed to have died 9,000 years ago in the caves of Cheddar Gorge. See how I'm ad-libbing in the middle of the story that I've never read? When all the tests were completed, they only found one person that was related, and it was Mr. Target. It was Adrian Target, the teacher, who would have never been tested. They were testing the children. But apparently they didn't trust it, and he did it to make them feel better. So, all these years later, Mr. Target still lives within walking distance of the cave of his ancestor. I added that part. We all have 9,000-year-old ancestors, he said. I just happen to know who mine is. That's a good story. You see how some of these stories are just regular stories that are pretty cool, A strange musical. Should we do this one? Let's do a strange musical. I don't believe I've ever read this one. 1776. You recognize the year, of course. Do you recognize the year 1776, people who are watching this video? Do you? Do you know what happened in 1776? Do you know why that year is important? Let me know in the comments if you do, please. I wouldn't mind if you guys let me know, because I don't know. I need you to tell me. I have no idea. Anyway, but how about the Broadway musical? I guess it was called 1776. Debuting in 1969, 1776 was a musical comedy about the Second Continental Congress and writing of the Declaration of Independence. Really? That improbable combination somehow worked. 1776 ran for 3 years, 1,217 performances, and won 3 Tony Awards. Best Musical, Best Featured Actor in a Musical, Ronald Holgate, and Best Director. They don't say his name. Highlight. Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, and 2 cohorts perform a high-stepping song and dance called But Mr. Adams, in which they each try to get out of writing the Declaration of Independence. Sample lyric. I cannot write with any style or proper etiquette. I don't know a participle from a predicate. I am just a simple cobbler from Connecticut. Well, they sure did try to have some humor back in 1969. But it says also on the bottom, if you know who Voltaire is, sometimes they just put these random quotes in the bottom. Anything too stupid to be said is sung. I love that. I love that. Look. That's actually really cool. All right, what am I at? 15 minutes? Now, see, I'm thinking I got to upload the last anonymous source episode to Rumble. But maybe I'm just going to stream the rest of them from Rumble. I'm just going to leave that one as a Rumble secret where you have to go to YouTube to find that one. Okay. I turn to this page. Well, No, let's close the book. I kind of cheated there. I've read that one before, and it's good. And I cannot cheat. I have the part of this is turning to the pages. Ready? So we take the book in front, and we do this. Kentucky Fried Hobbit: The Birth of Political Correctness. Couldn't have ended on a better note. Did you see that? I did a YouTube thing. A better note. But also the Rumble one is a better fucking note. All right. The Birth of Political Correctness. Let me put the book in front here. It seems like everyone is talking about political correctness these days. Seems like everyone's talking about political correctness these days. So you'd think that this method of using language that seemingly goes out of its way to not offend anyone is a relatively modern term. Like maybe from the 1980s or 1990s. It actually dates way further back than that. All the way back to the founding of the United States. During a 1793 U.S. Supreme Court case called Chisholm versus Georgia, Justice James Wilson argued that it is the people, not the states, who held the real power in the country. Well, I like that. He wrote, to the United States, instead of to the people of the United States. So he wrote, to the United States, not to the people of the United States, is the toast given. This is not politically correct. The phrase was used sparingly in politics after that. It didn't hit the mainstream until the 1960s when pinko hippie commies, or socially minded progressive activists, revived the term. Pinko. Remember that word, pinko. P-I-N-K-O. 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 And pinko were their name-os. Pinko commies. All right, so that was Strange History on Anonymous Source with JJ. A little special thing. Obviously, I went through, did a couple of things, just testing to see if I was on Rumble. So this is just a Rumble test, of course. Next Strange History will be maybe in a few hours, maybe in a few days. Who knows? I'm very, very spontaneous, if you know what I'm saying. So with that, I will leave you, my friends, with this message while we jam a little bit. Of course, we will bring Wayne Brady up with his white wig, and then we will go over the terms we need to know: anti-whiteism, prejudice against white people, or hostility toward, hatred of, stemming from envy or bigotry, black privilege, undue favoritism, often granted to black people in America due to exploiting grievances about injustices in the distant past, and laying guilt trips on white people in order to subvert equal rights and blind justice. Often stemming from false perceptions of racism, because racists are behind every tree where none exists, or fabricating incidents of racism in order to leverage power over white people. Doesn't that sound familiar? I feel like it does. And so does my man here. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great night. Bye-bye.